How you doing? I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And as you can see, it's been a crazy morning with the shades in the background. We're going to get a quick live stream in today. Just get to the details. 7 reasons your ex isn't calling. This is a topic that, a lot of people go, why hasn't she called me? Why hasn't he called me? I get it all the time. It's like, first things first, I do need to know your story. I do need to know what happened in the breakup. And even then, folks, being completely transparent and honest, because that's who I am, then that's what I'm about. No one knows the exact answer why they're not calling you. It's day to day. It's moment to moment. So if you think for some reason that, your friend tells you, she hasn't called you for a week. Well, like I remember when I broke up with my ex and she came back 3 weeks later. So usually they'll come back. It's like, that's just his experience. Okay. So friends, family, and colleagues, they're just going to give you feedback on what's happened to them. That's it. It'll be again and again and again and again. Again and again and again. They'll keep doing it too. So they'll feed you with whatever's happened to them. People do this all the time. It's one of the things that is highly, highly valuable to know in your life. Everyone's projecting what's happened to them. They've made rules and regulations based on this. They believe that the rest of the world abides by their way of looking at the world. So whatever experience they have in an area, they will impose it on you. Right? They'll just impose it on you. And so that's why I always preach, send me in your story and I'll at least shed some light and let you know, all right, this is a kind of an idea. Some people do not have any idea. They're quite dense why their ex isn't calling them. Now, here's the thing. Really, you don't know exactly why unless they told you. And even then, they could be lying. Okay, but your individual breakup and situation, here's where it varies. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend, husband, or wife, they're going to have different reasons why they're not calling you. Now, they might be under the same umbrella. Like, you cheated on me. You lied to me. But really, what they do from there, the dominoes that fall from you lied to me can be different for different people. Someone might say, well, you lied to me. Anytime someone lies to me in a relationship, I'm totally done. Okay. That's the way they roll. Here's the thing. One day they can be that way, and especially women who are more emotional, they can change in a day. Not everyone's dug in. There's some individuals that will stonewall you and ghost you. There's some other individuals that will wean you off the relationship. There's no one size fits all. And anyone out there, because this is what's happening on everything on the internet. Okay. I haven't done it. Everyone wants scaled businesses, funnels and scales. Okay. And so what happens is I'll sell a booklet or a book with the master plan and the answers to everything you want to know. But the reality is, if someone goes, oh, your ex isn't calling you, it's because of this. No one knows exactly the exact reason. I mean, the ex-girlfriend could have her period. She could be in traffic. She could be having a bad day, and she does not want to talk to anyone in the world. You understand me? So what I'd like you to get away from is trying to figure that out. Instead, go on offense. Almost swore there. I got a video taken down a few days ago for swear words. So when you get in a position, this is what I want to tell you. This is almost reverse psychology. If you get in a position and you're going, oh, I got to contact a coach. I got to contact someone. I got to go on YouTube and find out why she isn't calling you. No one on YouTube's going to know exactly why she isn't calling you. You're going to try to find information to fit your narrative, to fit your story. Until you talk to someone one-on-one that's not scaled information for one size fits all for business purposes. This is where we're headed. Someone gets a big name, then they send out emails where they say, oh, Thanks a lot. I'm Johnny Depp, or I'm so-and-so, right? And they're really never answering the emails. They're just scaling everything out. Okay. And now information is being dispersed that way. Oh, you want to know why your ex isn't calling you? This video will tell you exactly that. I'm not telling you that. I'm saying that there's probably some kind of unique reason behind it. But on top of that, if you get to the point where you're, oh my God, Mac, like, I can't figure this out, go on offense and go, where's my power? How about this? You stop calling them. How about this? I'm done with them. You just took away the power. Because like I said, it's going to be a long road if you start playing Sherlock Holmes on why your ex isn't calling you. The reality is, if you were together long enough, you're perceptive. You kind of know, I hope. Like me, very perceptive person, read people really well. I know. If I want to run from those reasons, I can go around it, make up a bunch of shit, call him a narcissist, call him this, call him that. I know. There was breadcrumbs at the end of the relationship telling me maybe intimacy was down, attraction was low. This is another thing. Whenever you get the statement like, oh, I don't have the same feelings, I'm not in love anymore. Translation, I'm not attracted to you anymore. I was, I don't know the name of the show, but I was watching this show, actually, my mother watches. It's reality TV in America. And it's basically that these people went to I want to say counselors, PhD, doctorates that are experts in relationships, and then they made them, man and woman, to get married with people they never met. Match made or something like that. So you're marrying people that have never met, and these experts have put them together like, oh, this is going to be a great couple. It's the most incredibly stupid idea I've ever seen, to get married in a day with someone you never met before and trust it to the experts, the PhDs. These people are going to know who's your match. Give me a break. It's the most ridiculous thing. And these individuals that are giving them advice, they're giving them advice based on what they would do. I even heard one PhD lady that's, I don't know, in her 60s or so. My husband and I, our marriage got more and more loving the last 10 years. Says who? You? Can I interview your husband? Can I interview your husband and ask his opinion? So you're just throwing that into the situation? People are giving a lot of broad advice out there. The reality is, what I've come to do in my journey with this, I ask a lot of questions. I want to learn you, what you want to do, who you're attracted to. I just saw on YouTube just recently that Rollo Tomasi's upset that Sports Illustrated has a heavy fit, thicker woman on the cover. And he said it's absolutely ridiculous. She's unattractive. This is wrong. And it's like, are you serious? I mean, I really lost respect for Rollo Tomasi. Okay. There are a lot of men out there that are attracted to thick or heavy women. That's factual. This idea that the ideal, that it's disgusting to you, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's plenty. Think about all the things that are odd about different foods we like, different cars we like, different things we collect. If you think that there is an ideal beauty, there is one preferred by societies a lot of times. But this idea that if someone wants to put that on their magazine, fine. But you are not the superiority of what is attractive or not attractive. Now you just have a choice if you buy the magazine or not. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just beware when you go to people for their advice. They're just giving you their opinions. Opinions are not facts, myself included. Okay? And that's why when you work with a therapist or a coach like myself, get in there. and go one-on-one and talk about your situation. Do not fall into being a sheep to some influencer or someone's opinion out there. All right. Let's get into the 7 reasons your ex isn't calling you. Number 1, they got rejected by you and are scared to get rejected again. This is actually kind of overlooked. So whatever happened at the end of the breakup, you rejected them. There's times when I've had clients where they're in trouble. They did something wrong. They got caught online checking out call girl sites, things like that, right? And they walked out on their girlfriend and said, I'm done with you. So then when they go into no contact, they're not talking, you rejected them at the end. They're scared to get rejected. I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but a lot of times someone's not calling you because they're scared to get rejected in some cases. Okay? And they can hold off on that. If their fear's really high on rejection and you're really stubborn and dug in. Number 2, they are with someone else. And in some cases, they told you, I'm with someone else. And when they tell you that, you don't listen and you think, well, that guy's a jerk, or they're not good enough, or maybe I can weasel my way in. Maybe we can be friends. They're with someone else. Now, if they're talking to you while they're with someone else, that's really dirty play. Okay? That's a red flag, because that just means they are promiscuous. They are someone that's playing games, and they're puppet stringing you. Okay, so if they're with someone else and they're talking to you and you're their ex, no bueno in my book, okay? Number 3, you lied to them. This is a nice, big, fat, broad thing. There are some adults out there in certain situations, when someone lies to them, they're done on a big scale, right? Especially as an adult. When you get into your 25, 30, 35, you're like, stop lying. Stop acting like a little kid, right? Especially on big issues. And then you can just never trust each other again. Some people, you lied, we're done. I don't want to hear sorry. I don't want you taking it back. Does that mean that they'll never call you? No, they have to decide on their own and miss you if they're going to forgive you. You're not going to explain that to them. But telling a big fat whopper, right, is a chance that they're not going to call you, because they have to get over that on their own. They might not. Now, here's the thing. Not all people are the same with lies. Some people can understand why you lied. Some people can process it in a way. They'll create a story from it and understand why. So it's not like, oh, you lied, they'll never call you again. That's not true. This is just about why they aren't calling you. Okay, so number 4. This is actually going to surprise some people. And actually, this is a good thing your ex will do. They don't want to hurt you. Now, stay with me on this, because some people, they are completely ignorant to the idea. They'll tell me their story. We'll unpack it for an hour or 2 hours. It's not a relationship to get back into. They slam the door in your face. They told you they weren't in love anymore. They basically aren't attracted to you anymore, right? Okay. And you begged and pleaded and got on your hands and knees, and they feel sorry for you. They feel pity. They feel no attraction. So they look at it like, I don't want to lead you on, because I know every time we talk, you think there's a chance. Now, in that particular case, I think that ex is doing something that's admirable and good-hearted. If you know your ex is desperate to get back with you, and you've told them, you know what, I'm done, I don't have the same feelings, don't call them and give them hope. Don't breadcrumb them. I find that that's incredibly wrong. If you know you don't want to be with them anymore, or you just want them as a side piece or a friend with benefits, and that's not what they want, and you want to play them like that, you're the one that's wrong. If your ex is not contacting you because they know there's no chance, that's admirable. They don't want to hurt you. Number 5, you cheated, right? Seems obvious. Again, guidelines, rules, regulations, code of conduct, individually based. Some people will forgive you for cheating, some won't. Bottom line, you're not going to talk your way out of it if they already know you did it. Now, what's really interesting in the cheating world now, what I've been coming across from people giving me their breakup stories, there's a lot of emotional cheating. And I used to kind of joke about it. But what happened is with these discords and texting, it's hard evidence, right? It's fucking hard evidence, right? It's like someone gets your chat history and they basically, instead of asking you questions, it's just the evidence is there. You're done. You can't really explain it, especially if you're doing dirty stuff on the text or you're sending dick pics or something like that. I've had clients like that, right? It's like once your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife sees that, they can't erase that from their mind, and you can't really combat that. Like, oh, it's not true. It's like, yeah, it's right there. Everything you said. So you got to look at it like this, like in the 80s or the 90s, someone cheats, someone does something, their phone call wasn't recorded. You know, someone rich might have got a private eye and recorded some stuff. But the real thing is like, really? I saw everything you said to them, so you can't really run from that. It's evidence-based, right? So people get to that point and they're not calling you. They're processing that text message. They're upset with you, and they don't want to forgive you. They don't want to give you an inch. People want you to feel what they feel. If you hurt them, if you embarrass them, they want you to feel that way. Number 6, 7 reasons your ex isn't calling you. Negotiations are off. You've talked about it. You've complained about it. You've stated what you want. They stated what you want. They stated what they want. You went back and forth. You've been fighting for months. You don't want to go out on the weekends anymore. And she says, you know what? I like the weekends. I like my friends. My friends like my friends. I like to drink. I like to party. You've been fighting about this for 6 months. And finally, she just doesn't come home on weekend. And she's like, I had a good time again. Negotiations are off. Some of you, don't you just get sick of it? We're fighting over the same stuff. Going to the same place. Dog chasing its tail. Okay? So all relationships regard negotiations. You can argue. You can go back and forth. You're constantly negotiating. You're actually negotiating all the time. Hey, where'd you want to go for dinner? Oh, I want to go here. No, I want to go here. Hey, we're going to go at 10 o'clock. Now, this is why women like leaders. Less negotiating, less thinking, less decision-making. Someone would disagree with that, right? Someone's got to be the leader in the group. Someone's got to be the decision-maker, but still, there's going to be things negotiated about. When you get to a certain point and this person says, negotiations are off, they will stop calling you. And you know what? The person that stops calling because they go, we're just not getting anywhere with this. You're not going to change. I'm not going to change. It's the beginning of the end, and it's time to not talk. Number 7, you begged and pleaded. And I would throw in there, you blamed them. So this is big, right? It's obvious. A lot of people go, oh, don't beg and plead. A lot of people do it because it's a knee-jerk reaction. You're hurt, you're upset. It's the end of the world. You're going to lose someone forever. You watch the movie Titanic 10 times, and you want to be a romantic Hollywood captain. All right, go ahead, go for it. It's okay. A lot of guys come to me, they go, oh my God, I begged and pleaded. I shouldn't. It's all right. Stop doing it. But here's the thing. When you do that, you think that you're going to get their attention. You do get their attention. You get pity and you get guilt. It's a guilt net. Now, for me, being around people that make me feel guilty is not someone I want to talk to. If I come away from a conversation and you keep making me feel guilty, I might pity you. I might feel sad for you, but I won't be attracted to you. Right? So people get lost on why aren't they calling me? Well, you begged and pleaded. You didn't listen to them. And all you want to do is get back together. You're not listening. You got tunnel vision, and to them, it's like if I call you, I know where it's going. And so that's why I said a lot of times when you go to no contact and you stop calling, it'll throw them off because a lot of people like attention. They like being wanted, right? So when you stop calling, right, you're starting to shift the tables. So 7 reasons your ex isn't calling you. There's 7 right there. If you have more, put them in the comments. If you have a story where you just couldn't figure out why your ex stopped calling you, and there's sometimes. It's one of the biggest questions I get. I got ghosted. They just stopped calling me. They have a reason. They probably aren't going to share it with you directly. Don't start calling them to get the answer, right? Don't assume that you know the answer. Talk to someone like myself. Let's do a live coaching session and maybe unpack it a little bit. Maybe you get a better idea that way. Okay. All right. Let's get into the comments today. Because they moved on, so do the same. You know what? Strong possibility. They moved on. You should do the same. It's just like I said in the beginning of this. If you're at a point where you're like, why aren't they calling me? Why aren't they calling me? Go on offense and go, I'm not going to call them. I'm done. Write out a list of reasons why you should not be in this relationship. Like I said, at the core of everything, are our problems fixable? If they're not, then move on. If they are, but they don't want to fix them, move on. Now, this is where it gets tough. Mac, it's not easy. I get it. That's why I do breakup coaching. I'm helping you. I'm the shepherd, right? The real answer is they don't want to. If they wanted to, they would. Deep poetic society. Yeah, if it's been over 6 months, you're blocked. It's a wrap. Mostly because the trust isn't there. So those are all different reasons. There's no one reason. Stonewalling is so messed up. I tried so hard to communicate with my ex via text because she was in another state, would not call or FaceTime. So she would reply with yes, no, or I understand. It was beyond frustrating and cruel. So my question, deep poetic society, why did you need to keep contacting her if you were broken up? What did you want to get to the bottom of? Like if you have, there's reasons to contact someone where they have, I believe a obligation to contact you back. You have a lease together. Okay. You have commingled funds. You have assets together. You have kids together. They have an obligation. If there's nothing keeping you entangled, the individual does not owe you a conversation after they broke up, an explanation. They can be done and move on. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, if they're really done or they're seeing someone else or they're no longer attracted to you, they're actually doing an admirable thing by not weaning themselves off the relationship. Because a lot of people, they know they're done, but they like the attention and they take advantage of your attention. Nobody owes you a relationship, G-Money. I agree. No, that's not cruel. Your ex just didn't want to talk to you and you weren't able to accept it. I'd like to know more of the situation. Deep poetic society to stamp that. That's incorrect. She would initiate contact with me first. Okay, so I would interrupt that as an effort to communicate, and then the BS would begin. Well, there you go. Identify a playbook. All right, she reaches out to me to get my attention, and then when I do reach back out to her, she plays this game where she stones-wall me. That's when you go, where's my power? I know where this is headed. I'm just not going to contact her anymore. G-Money probably wanting to get attention from you. Either way, red flag. G-Money, Rolo's idea there is that men tend to fertilize what they're able to get. Like if I can only get with fat girls, I'll start to rationalize in my brain that fat girls are what I find attractive. Okay, I didn't know that was it, G-Money. I get what he's saying, but bottom line is, correct me if I'm wrong, G-Money. People are attracted to some weird shit sometimes. And whether that's because they can't fertilize skinnier females or not, it doesn't really matter. Who you're attracted to is completely fine with me, right? To identify the ideal beauty. You know what I'm saying? To identify the ideal beauty. And I'm not even one of these advocates that's like, hey, being fat's a great thing, right? Because I think it's unhealthy. Okay. My father's massively overweight, right? Has been off and on. I don't think it's a good thing, right? I don't think it's a good thing for your health. But as far as if a woman that's overweight, thick, which I like thick women, big fan, and I'm slim. And you're going to say, oh, that's Everyone's just wrong here. Excuse me? Now, I feel like this is what gets lost. Beauty, stay with me, is decided by culture and society of what the popular look is, right? There's certain parts of Asia where extremely pale white skin is highly attractive, right? I mean, it's the most beautiful of beautiful. If you went and lived in Southern California, lived in San Diego, you'd want to get a tan. That's what's attractive. Okay. Now someone says, well, the ideal nature thing. No, that's a society thing. That's a culture thing. That's a thing where everyone agreed that this is what beauty is, and maybe the highest of the high. And this is where we get into some crazy stuff with social proofing and whatnot, right? You have people out there now with social media. If you have a platform that's big enough, you can be a highly unintelligent individual, not know a lot about anything, probably not even go 2 + 2 is 4, right? But you got 1 million subscribers, or you got 1 million followers on Instagram, and people will listen because they go, oh, this person's, everyone else likes them, so they must be special, right? Think about it this way. This is really interesting. I was thinking about this today. A lot of people ask about crypto. I'm not going to go down Bitcoin and get into all that stuff. But why is crypto still around and doing well? A bunch of people agreed it's a useful form of currency. That we all agree that this thing's here to stay and it's useful. Now stay with me. Now look at the history of how maybe cavemen, Native Americans, which I'm a big fan of Native American history and culture. I took a lot of courses on that. Not an expert on any means. Tribe by Sebastian Junger, fantastic book. And the thing is, they didn't have dollar currencies because a dollar on piece of paper, it's useless. Think about this. It's useless. But if enough people agree that it's useful, well, then it's useful. Okay, stay with me on this. Now, a lot of what we had in the beginning of time would be trade of things that are useful. I trade you a knife that you can cut meat with, cut trees down with, cut firewood, and you trade me tobacco and some deer skins, because I can use those. This is what's really interesting. Like, look at baseball cards. Now, when I was a kid, I used to collect baseball cards. I still have a bunch stored away, right? They weren't worth a whole lot, and they still aren't by the means of inflation now, but now they've gone up in price. Everyone just agrees that this picture of this player, which is absolutely useless. I mean, what could you use a baseball card for? Maybe to chalk up for some people, right? But I mean, what could you use it for? For burning a fire? I mean, there's not a lot of use to it, but everyone's agreed, oh my God, this is rare. It's worth money. So when you look at beauty and someone goes, oh, this is what beauty is, you're just agreeing with whatever popular culture or what you've been fed is. Beauty, you look at different periods of time, there was different kinds of women that were considered beautiful. So this idea that someone that's thick or heavy that's on the cover of Sports Illustrated's bikini thing, I mean, I've seen plenty of those Sports Illustrateds where I think one of the girls is hot, one of the girls is not that cute. But it's not I don't look at it like this is the human ideal. That's ridiculous, dude. It's just, you can be attracted to different things. And it's going to be related to your life experiences and however you get to that point, who am I to decide? If you're happy. I've seen some couples before where I went, wow, that's an odd couple. Good for you. I've seen some people before that I knew for quite a long time, and I thought they're going to have a lot of trouble meeting someone because they're not very attractive, and that's me being nice, okay? Or they're highly overweight, right? And they do. And you know what I think? I'm really happy for you. All right, agreed with there, Mac. I think beauty ideals do exist, but they certainly change over time. Some traits are universal, attractive, like being tall, muscular. That's genetically ingrained in people because it suggests genetic and physical fitness required to survive and pass on genes. I agree. A lot of beauty is to pass on genes, clear skin, things like that, right? You wouldn't be attracted to someone that looks like they have some kind of mutiny all over them, right? I understand that. The reality is when you get into this thing where like, oh, someone's too fat to be on the cover of sport, like, really? Jeez, man. To be honest, some of Rollo Tomasi's recent takes and teaming up with like Fresh and Fit, you know what comes to mind? It's like, would you talk to your daughter like this? Because he's got a couple daughters. Are these guys that you're hanging out with on Fresh and Fit with their views? Does your daughter line up with their ideals? That's a good question. Because to me, what you got in a lot of these popular red pill videos, you're portraying a certain type of woman, not all women. And it's easy prey, man. It's generally more acceptable for women to have higher levels of body fat because of childbearing needs. Yep. Good point. But the idea when someone judges your girlfriend, who you're dating, and they're like, yeah, dude, she's not that cute. Here's a really interesting thing, and I've talked about this, G Money, so it might be a little redundant because you've been on the show before, but listen to me. Sometimes there's some things that you can't see that are highly attractive to that guy, but you will never see those things or those experiences that guy's having with that woman. All you see is she's got a big nose, man. She's kind of ugly. Really? And the guy thinks, I think her nose is kind of cute. But he also doesn't display what happens behind closed doors in the bedroom. There's a lot of dudes out there that I've known over the years that someone goes, wow, he ended up with her, huh? Yeah, he did. Why? You'll never know, maybe. Because a gentleman never tells. There's a lot of stuff about your friend's girlfriend or wife that you'll never see. And like I said, guys don't share as much, I don't think. G Money, you hit it on the tongue. Men are also more open to certain types of women. We tend to not care as much. We just want the action. Agreed. Like, that's why it surprises me that Rollo Tomasi's going on one of these YouTube things. And I think it's just to be audacious and be polarizing. But to call out a thicker woman, or I don't even think she's fat. I think she's thick, which is different. But to say that she can't be on Sports Illustrated, it's completely unattractive. And to me, I'm like, really? Make your own magazine then. And I don't even, like I said, I don't even mean that as a defend rights or anything like that. I just mean it like attraction, but like you can be attracted to a lot of different things. There's clients of mine that have some quirky things that they're attracted to. And who am I to say what's wrong or right? But if you grew up in like I said, in a culture or society, and then you move to another country, you'd be shocked at what they're attracted to. His issue is probably more than feminists trying to force men to see thicker women as attractive simply because women are getting fatter. I get that. I don't agree. But because to me, I'm attracted to thicker women. So I don't feel forced at all. It's just something I'm attracted to. And I'd say growing up watching a lot of hip hop videos. Maybe that's why I like it. Right? Does that mean that's the only thing I'm attracted to? I mean, I have no problem with it. I have one of my good friends is highly attracted to what I would call fat women, borderline obese. Right? Completely fine with it. His girlfriends, just like everyone he's been with, they're loads, man. But you know what? Go for him. He's not complaining. And who am I to say, oh yeah, you're just settling because you're being forced by the feminist narrative? Really? I don't think he is. I think that's just what he's attracted to. I think that's possible. And you know what? Good for you. My thing is, if I have a friend and his girlfriend or his wife treats him well with respect, loyalty, trust, doesn't embarrass him when we're hanging out. I mean, how she looks to me, it's probably better I'm not attracted to her, really, but it's irrelevant because I think to myself, man, I'm really happy she treats you well, to myself, because I've met some buddies that have some pretty good looking wives, and I'll tell you what, they're doormats. The guy, like, it's shameful to hang out with the buddies and deal with the way they act around the woman, because sometimes because of their looks, they become the boss. It's embarrassing. The Rolo is not exactly a prize package to be taking shots at women. I agree. The straight talker. Thanks for throwing that down. I always think to myself, listen, man, you know what I mean? You're no fucking Stallone. You're no Stallone, and you always wear sunglasses and you wear, the hat. So obviously there's a hairline missing, myself included, right? You're obviously hiding something by having to wear that hat every day. Fine by me. And by the way, I like Rollo Tomasi's book. I like his writing. I think Rollo Tomasi's an intelligent individual. I think where he's gone with things, I've heard him say it, that he's a brand. He's an online brand. And so I think what sells is audacious, polarizing opinions where people talk about you just like I'm doing right now. And so I get it. But straight talker, I second that. Right? You're not alone. I don't need no stick with him. Right on, G-Money. As someone who has been very fit and then fat at different periods of my life, there's a huge difference in how women treated me. I think that you're going to get more action if you're fit as a woman or a man. Absolutely. You're going to get more attention. Absolutely. No doubt. You probably got treated different by men too. Not that they were attracted to you, but just how they treated you for not taking care of yourself. People draw conclusions by the way you take care of yourself. But I mean, like I said, you're attracted to what you're attracted to. There's plenty of times where I'm like, that you think I mean, I have a friend right now that if you hang out with him, 8 out of 10 women, he's like, she's hot, she's pretty. It's like everything. The guy's a little jackrabbit. I mean, it's just like every, you know what I mean? And you know what it is he's been in the desert without water for far too long. So water looks very tasty right now. Why do I mention water? Water's average. It's abundant. But, these people out there, and the thing is, they are forcing narratives as absolutes. That's my point. I'm all right. You believe in what you want to believe in. Your opinion's strong. You have some background in it. There's no absolute to this. You're just creating that with a little machismo. Right? And that's fine. I'm going to stay in my corner and do what I want to do. I'm not going to check like, oh, let me look at the playbook for what I have to do if I really want to be red pill and I really want to be masculine. Let me check. Well, if I don't do this, I don't do that. Fuck that, man. Be you. You're intricate. You're an individual. You're going to surprise some people. You're not always following the crowd. Well, this has been a good spirited, nice live stream today. G Money, you always add a little spice to the scene. Jerry Maupin, welcome from Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan is a basketball haven. I'm a big basketball fan. You got the Martine Cleaves was from there. I believe Chris Webber was from there. A lot of good basketball players. Deep Poetic Society, thanks for chiming in here. And please, if any of you guys, Rob IS, oh my goodness, I've seen it all now. If any of you want to put in the live stream anything that you want me to talk about in this next week coming up, actually next week I probably will not be doing a daily. I'm going back to Thailand, so it'll go back to a night show for the live stream, but it will be about 5 days a week like I've been doing for the last 2 months. If you have any ideas or thoughts on things you want me to touch on, well, like I said, Rob, it's good news because I'm going back to Thailand. As if going back to Cali, the classic LL Cool J song. But I'll be back there next week. And so I believe it'll be similar to before, 8 or 9 p.m., depending on where you are in the States or wherever you are in the world. It'll be more at night for a lot of the listeners. Anyhow, any thoughts, any things that you want 5 days a week, live stream, chime in, put it in the thoughts below. Any things you have, I'm open. Just like yesterday, we did an interesting topic. Someone kept asking me, can you talk about single moms? Can you talk about single moms? And like I said yesterday, I thought about it. There's some obvious reasons why you wouldn't date single moms, right? There's a lot of people that would say, oh, you never date a single mom because of the kids. But I took a different stance because I think anything that you believe automatically as something not to do, maybe look at the other parts of it. And my thing yesterday was this. I haven't dated single moms, certainly haven't singled them out. I've had good friends that had good experiences and bad experiences. I've had clients that have had good experiences and bad experiences, and I come back to this. Start with this. Are you highly attracted to her on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you 8, 9, or 10 on the attraction for her? Do you have connection and chemistry, 8 to 9 to 10? Do you trust her at a 10? Okay, so if she's at those levels, that's a premium quality long-term partner for you. Now you just have to decide, am I okay with her having a kid? So if you're like, I don't like kids, I never wanted them, don't do it. It's a choice. And then if you have the idea that, damn, her ex-husband's always in the picture, or her ex-man, baby's dad's always in the picture, he'll always be there, this is going to be a problem, I'm not cool with this, I don't want to raise other kids, other guys' kids. If you have that narrative in your head, say, thank you, it's been good, I'm done. Do yourself a favor. It's a choice. Now, here's my thing. Someone had already left in the comments today, they say, oh, don't ever date single moms, don't ever date single moms. And he had this story about basically that one of his friends, I believe, had to deal with the kid's parents. And then when the kid was a teenager, the kid would say, you're not my father, every time they'd get in an argument. Okay, that's completely possible. But here's the thing. There's plenty of times where it can work. It can work. I just want you to start from a place that you like the woman individually at a high level. So like I said, the attraction's high, the connection and chemistry is high, the trust is high. Before anything else, that's at a premium level, right? Now, if you don't have that, then don't even get into a relationship anyways. But if you have that, you have a high level of attraction, high level of chemistry and connection, and a high level of trust, then you just have to ask yourself the question, am I willing to roll with this? Now, I said before, for starters, you got to like kids. You don't have a built-in unconditional love for your non-blood. But you can get attached to a kid over time, or you can start to say, oh, man, this kid's great. Fine. It can work. It's not just cut and dry. Now, if you're not into that, then you can eliminate it. But it doesn't mean that it can't work. And then, like I said in the thing, 5 reasons that you could date single moms. They tend to be mature, maybe play play less games at a certain age. Like someone could come in the comments and go, oh no, I've had single moms that play nothing but games. Okay. I'm saying that they have a little bit more life experience. They know what they want. They want to build a future. They're going to care about having benefits and having a house and things like that. And that lines up with some guys. There's a lot of guys that complain to me that who they're with is really immature, impulsive, has no direction. A responsible mom, they probably have more of that. You know, I've had a friend before that he loved his single mom, but guess what? He had kids too. But he just loved how she was driven to do really well. And she's probably more driven because she's got a kid. Whenever someone has kids, they tend to be more driven. They're driven by the responsibility of taking care of their kid. And so that can be attractive. Rob I said, just personally, I wouldn't do it. Heard, seen too many bad things. There are plenty of options out there. Yet for some people, it's dynamic. If the dynamic is right, things might work. Exactly my point. Don't just say, oh, hell no. And like I tell people, if you date enough, you'll always meet your match. You'll always be surprised by what you end up with or who you met someone or how it transpired. And I've seen plenty of guys that I was like, wow, you ended up with someone that had kids. It worked out for them. It's not always written in stone that the ex or the father of the kids is going to be a total jerk. Sometimes you can end up being friends with him and think like, oh, he's actually a cool dude. I mean, I had one client where they had kids together. So he was on the opposite end of this. And the guy that was his ex-wife's new partner was rich. He was well off. He was wealthy. Made a lot of money during .com, which is a long time ago, the .com era. And he paid for all these private schools, did all these things. And my buddy that was the dad was like, well happy with that. It was like, wow, dude, I don't have to pay anything to my ex-wife. He's a cool dude. Never had any angst, never talked down to him. So it can work, folks. All right, we have 11 on deck, 6 likes. I do appreciate you, Rob. It was good to see you. Thanks for peeking your head in the door. Straight Talker, thanks for dropping some straight talk. G Money, always a pleasure. It is curtains.